Hi, it's Rob here from the gym, and I hope you're well. Welcome to this restorative stretch class with me. Okay, grab yourself a pint of water. I also recommend with this class, grab yourself a pad of paper and a pen as well, because as you're stretching and breathing and recovering from your day-to-day activities, you will find that things come to mind. And as you're working through the class, I want you to write them down. Now, if there are things that don't leave your mind immediately or things that you go to yourself and say, hey, okay, yeah, I've thought about that, and I've had enough of that thought. What I want you to do is write that thought down, because it's something that you need to action and it's something that's troubling your mind. This class is brilliant. It's a great way of hitting into our parasympathetic nervous system and calming our body down. So grab yourself a drink of water, lick it around your lips and hydrate. Cheers. And as always, close the doors, let people know you're taking part in a training session, and find yourself a space. Okay, so from here, find yourself turning around one way and then the other. Make sure you've got plenty of room for the training session. We're going to have our feet a fist gap apart. We're going to bring our hands on our hips and we're going to rock our feet forwards and back. We're going to lift our chest up and drive our pelvis forward into a nice neutral position. The feet are just going to roll up and over, big toe to little toe, flat down to the floor. Each time the heels are just going to kiss the floor. And as you're doing this exercise, I just want you to close your eyes and just feel that the whole of your feet are doing what they expect them to do. So if our feet are nicely positioned, so the big toes are slightly turned in, second toes are parallel, we can feel the heels kiss the floor and roll forward all the way over the knuckles of the foot. Now we should also be able to do this with our pelvis tilted forwards and our chest lifted up. This is a neutral position. We sit very much in this anterior tilt position here. We want you lifted here. I'm going to keep working through. I'm going to drop the elbows back into position. I want you to take a moment to look at your own posture on your camera or in a mirror. Are you rounded in your shoulders, or have you been told that you're rounded, or do you look rounded in your picture? And what we want to be able to do here is our scapula. Keep moving on your ankles. We want the shoulder blade to be able to drop down into its normal position. So it gets quite tight up here. We're going to try and pull it back into place. So that's the plan for today's class. We're going to work a little bit on the shoulder group, trying to work a serratus anterior stretch, which is how the ribs join onto the shoulder blade, giving them a bit more flexibility to be able to drop back down into position. And we're going to work on a bit of the arms as well, some tricep stretch. Okay, so from there, relax. Let's take our feet a little bit wider. Okay, and we're going to bring our hands on our hips. So we're going to just work through a simple Romanian deadlift. So we're going to just stick our bottom back, keep our chin lifted, and move forward and back. This isn't about how deep you can go. I just want you to simply flex until you can start to feel the back of your legs. Keep your chin up, chest up, and slowly pull yourself back up into straight. Keep working it. Toes turn in, heels flick out, work again. Now each time, see if you can go maybe just a little bit lower, but if you find that point of resistance, slow it down. This isn't about how many you can do, and it's not about trying to increase the repetitions at all. It's about staying slow and controlling your movement. Now, the other aspect to this move is, can you do it with your eyes closed? If you go too quick, you will find A, you'll go off balance, and B, you'll get quite giddy. But if you do it with your eyes closed, you might be able to find that you can challenge the system a little bit harder. You might be able to flex a bit deeper. You might find you want to get a bit more of a curl through the spine, certainly the upper spine into the thoracic of the body. Again, we're going to drop down. We're going to slowly control, lift back up. Now we bring our arms down. We can reach down towards our toes, and from there we're going to fold our arms. Chin down, jaw down, nose down. We're going to turn the toes and just slightly push the heels out. A lovely big deep stretch all the way through the back of the legs. The hinge right at the pelvis, bottom tilted back. Big toe to little toe, flat down to the floor. Hold this position here. From here, close the eyes, drop the arms if you feel comfortable. If you feel like you still want the support of the arms folded, go for it. Take yourself to a position whereby you are relaxed. It could mean you join me here with your hands on your shins. It could be just above your ankles. It could be your hands on top of your thighs. Wherever feels right for you is the position you're going to hold. Slow, controlled, deep breath in. Slow, controlled, deep breath out. From here, you're going to take that left hand over to your right shin. And you can place the right hand over the top of the arm. Allow the left shoulder to drop. A nice big stretch all the way through the back of the shoulder blade. Might feel the shoulder blade opening up just slightly. We're going to allow that flex a little bit further. If we can, we allow the hand to walk around the outside of the shin just slightly more. Still holding this deep position here. We close the eyes and we're going to work through our yoga gravity principles. Taking a slow deep breath in for 4 seconds and then slowly deep breath out for 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Now, can you take this left arm a little bit further on a journey around over towards the right shin? Again, use that right hand to clasp into the upper arm. Allow a bit of a rotation into it. Now, if you drop your chin down slightly towards your left shoulder, you might find the scapula opens up just slightly more. Now, you don't need to overstretch this. If you can find you can get your arm curled around the back of your leg like a snake, indication there that either your hypermobility, alternatively, this joint is already stretched enough for you. Now, overstretching a joint or overstretching a muscle group that's one that's already at a heightened position may actually increase your poor posture or worsen the posture, which is obviously not what we want to achieve. We want to increase the body's range of movement and flexibility. From here, we're going to just drop back into the middle with your arms. You should feel that you can naturally drop a little bit lower. As you bring the hands back to the shins, you're slowly going to walk your hands up your thighs. At a point, if you feel your lower back, just hold and take a moment before you come back up a little bit further, before you come back through into standing. You should feel the back of your hamstrings are fully lengthened out. From here, you're going to step forward, have a walk around and take a drink of water. Let your body rehydrate. Good stuff. Absolutely love this class. Okay, from here, we go back into that stretch position here. I want you to take a hamstring curl for me just to release off the back of your legs. Okay, so from here, we're going to take those feet wide, but again, we're going to make sure that those feet are nice and parallel. We're going to hinge, drop the chin on the chest, close the eyes, take a slow deep breath in for 4, slow deep breath out for 8, 6, 4, 2. From here, we're going to walk our hands down through our shins. And just hold this position here. So before we walked our left hand over towards our right shin, this time we're going to walk our right hand over to our left leg. It doesn't matter where you reach to, okay? If it's on the shin, the thigh, try and avoid the joints if you can. So if you can reach your ankle, avoid that. If you can reach the side of your knee, avoid that as well. Just try and pick up onto a nice limb. Okay. The point you want to be reaching your hand down to is a point where, again, you can feel the stretch of the shoulder blade. Again, if you can't feel that stretch, it's not a problem. You might also not feel it in your shoulder blade. You might feel it in your lower back. You might find it twisted, maybe the internal external obliques. You might find it in your intercostals, the muscles between your ribs. See if you can reach a little bit further. Chin down, nose down, jaw down. Feel that stretch all the way through the back of the legs. And again, can you reach that little bit further across? Again, we're going to work on gravity principle. Closing the eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in for 4. I want you to rasp out a sigh for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Now, you can use the other hand to press just up onto the upper arm if you choose. Just make sure you're not pressing too hard on the brachial artery that runs down there. So if you feel a bit tingly in your arms, then maybe come off it just slightly. Again, this little bit of extra dynamism to the stretch. Might feel a bit more lengthening through the back of the arm, a bit more of a stretch to it as well. Big toe, little toe, flat down to the floor, head drop. Nice, slow, deep breath in for 4. Slow, deep breath out for 8, 6, 4, 2. And again, reacquaint yourself into the stretch. Slow, deep breath in for 4. Hold that breath. Deep breath out for 8, 6. Check your feet position. Are your toes starting to creep out? Give me that full stretch all the way through all the muscles of the back of the hamstring group. Slowly release. Again, take your hands back, one on top, maybe one on each shin each, or maybe on top of the thighs each. Again, slowly reacquaint your body. Lengthen out the back of the hamstrings again. And again, slowly walk back up. Control that movement back through into standing. Stretch the arms up overhead and reach. Lengthen and release. Shake it out. Kick your bottom with your heels. Grab a drink of water. Feel the change in your body. Cheers. Excellent. Okay, next part. I want you to grab yourself either a hand towel or a bath towel or a t-shirt or a jumper or something like that. Okay, from here, you can roll it round into a stretch. Okay, we're going to take one arm behind our back, okay, and pull down through. You can do this easily as well with a jumper. Okay, walk it through behind your back. Grab the bottom of the jumper, grab the top, and pull it into a stretch. Now, the closer you can get your hands together, the better the stretch. We're going to try and get that elbow up nice and high to the ceiling and back. Work which you find more comfortable with. Okay. Now, you have a choice. You can do this seated or you can do this kneeling. Personally, I prefer to do this kneeling. So drop yourself down onto the floor and hold it here. Now, if you are kneeling, you find it tough on your knees, grab yourself a couple of cushions to place underneath it. The reason behind this will become apparent in a minute. Okay, so we're stretching in the back of the arm into the tricep. So the bottom arm releases off the towel or your jumper, and you walk it through so you've got your arm at least bent. Now, you're trying to get the other hand to walk down in behind it, and then you're going to pull using this bottom hand. Okay, so from here, elbows up high to the ceiling and sit back into it. Now, by kneeling, you will naturally find yourself go into this nice kind of straight position or slightly even a banana position here. So your tummy's facing forward. You feel a nice big stretch all the way through perhaps into the front of your thighs if you're very tight. This is called a posterior tilt position. You've got your pelvis tilted forward and your lower back slightly engaged. Now, if this gets too tiring for you, it's too hard on your knees, take yourself up into a chair and sit there for a moment. Again, we're looking for how high we can get this top elbow. So I've got my right hand up over my shoulder at the moment. I'm feeling a nice big stretch there. I could also sit back down onto my knees if I want to. And if I do this, I've got my toes extended behind me so I can feel a bit of a stretch through the front of your shins. So perhaps give it a go every now and again. Just sit yourself back down, come back into this position here. Now, each time you're going to find a little bit of improvement in your flexibility. So can you walk your hand up the towel a little bit further? Now, depending on where the stretch is going to feel on you, will depend on what you do in your day-to-day. So quite a few people will feel this stretch in the back of the right upper arm. You might find it in your tricep. At all times, keep your chin up, chest up, looking straight ahead, lean back into it. Now, I'm particularly tight in my left upper shoulder. So I can feel this more in my front left shoulder than I can in the back of my right arm in the tricep, i.e. the right arm that's up high up here. But every now and again, I can release the grip off the bottom of my hand and I can walk my hand back up that towel a little bit further. Screaming at me is the front of my shoulder. And it's just the way that my flexibility is. Now, you might be saying, no, Rob, I can feel this in my abdominals because I'm pushing my pelvis forward and my hips are normally sunk back. You might be finding this in your intercostals, in between your ribs. You might be finding this in your knees. You might find it in your chest. Whatever you do, try and keep that chin lifted. Raise your head up towards the ceiling and try and lean back into a little bit further. We're going to close the eyes. We're going to slowly take that deep breath in for 4. Control, slow, deep breath out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you change this grip slightly on your towel? Perhaps change your position so you come back down so you're sitting on the back of the heels. Just keep changing that stretch. Again, we're still trying to work the flexibility of the shoulder and the back of the arm as well. But we're keeping the chest lifted, the elbow up nice and high. 3, 2, 1. And release. Absolute agony for me here in the top part of the shoulder. It's just how hard I've got to work to try and retract the shoulder blade that's been forward for so long. Okay, shake it out. So we had our right hand up into our shoulder blade. This time we're going to have our left hand up. So take your towel or your jumper, again, flick it round and place it up into your left hand this time. Make sure you've got a good strong grip on that towel behind you. And again, we're looking for this right hand to come behind so we get a 90-degree flex. Now, don't worry if you don't get a 90-degree flex. It's not what it's about. But again, we're looking to grasp that towel down nicely behind our back. Again, eyes closed. Oh. Shoulders back, chest lifted, chin up. Again, you might feel the stretch at the back of the arm that's up facing to the ceiling. You might feel a stretch in your lower back. You might find a stretch in the upper back. You might find this pulling and tugging on the front of the right shoulder. Again, sit yourself down. Again, raise up, push your pelvis forward, shoulders back, chest lifted, lean back into it. And again, sit into whichever position feels comfortable for you. Trying to get that elbow up high towards the ceiling, elbow up towards the air. Can you lift? Can you get the pelvis forward? Can you hold that stretch? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly. Oh, release it out. Good work. Yeah, the natural response there. Everyone on Zoom is doing this. Front raises. From there, slowly take yourself up into standing. Stand in your new posture. You should feel a lovely big lengthening out through the back of the legs. The pelvis is tilted back into a square position here. And you're nicely rounded back into position. Take the left hand up between your shoulder blades. Take it into a little tricep stretch. Stretch and release. Swap it again. And again, swap. Stretch and release and swap again. Stretch and release and swap again. 2 more here. 1 more here. And release. Good work. Excellent. Interlock your fingers. Roll on one way. You've done that live on Facebook. We've done that live with me. Just give me a hashtag live. If they're not on replay, hashtag the replay. Let me know how you got on with it. From there, shake it out. Well trained. Thank you so much for joining me. Any questions, as always, get in contact. Please let me know how you got on with the class. And I'll see you next time for the next one. Brilliant. Well trained. Very, very good. Nice. Cheers. Awesome.